Hello the internet, my name's Laura, welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, a special welcome to you. Thank you so much for joining me. Today, I have gotten tagged in a Houseplants tag by Planting Memories. One of the YouTubers that I like to watch, he was actually one of the first people to comment on one of my videos back when I first started, which was really nice because I was not expecting to get comments for I don't even know how long. And like my second video, he was like, hey, this is cool. And I was like, okay, hi. And he puts out a lot of nice content, a lot to do with propagation, all that kind of stuff. So I'm linking him down below because he's great. And he has given me this houseplant tag so that I can answer some questions for you guys. Questions here, and I printed them out so that I don't have trouble reading my handwriting. So we're just going to go ahead and get right into this and see where it takes us. I've already seen these questions, but I have not answered them yet. So, number one, when did you first start getting into houseplants? That is an interesting question. I've always had houseplants because my mom was always very, very interested in plants and nature, and like, you know, I can point out most of the bird species that I see out just if I'm walking around. I can name a lot of just plants, you know, I know different types of plants and blah, because for the most part, she was naming them all while I was growing up. And so I always had houseplants. Like I had silly little things. I had a spider plant. I had one of the cactus that has the bright colored top with the little, it never did anything, but. So after I moved out and got my own place, my mom kind of sent some plants with me, and a lot of them, many of them managed to survive. Not all of them, it's true. I had a Schefflera that just didn't. So if you watched my aloe vera video, which I'll also link below, you may know how I kind of got into houseplants in that I thought I couldn't keep them alive, and then I kind of had a realization about the different needs that they all had, and so that aloe vera kind of kicked off me having a whole bunch of different types of houseplants. I got more succulents at that point, and actually, because of YouTube, specifically YouTube, I started getting into other houseplants as well. And now I have like a whole bunch, and I'm really enjoying them, and I have this YouTube channel and blah, blah, blah. But it all started with the aloe vera. And that was a really, really long answer to that question. Okay, perfect. Number two, what is your oldest houseplant? Oldest. It's gonna be a toss-up between my Ficus elastica and my Tritoscanthia wandering dude. So I'll bring those both over here so you can see them. So I think I showed both of these recently, but this Ficus elastica burgundy, my mom got for me. I'm pretty sure that most of the plants, if I don't know where they came from my mother. I tried to kill this plant for many years, and it absolutely refused. And now we have come to an understanding, and it is growing well for me. Like I said, I don't know whether this plant or this other one are the oldest, but I've probably had this for over 10 years, about 10 years. I know it's very small considering I've had it that long, but I really was not taking good care of it for a really long time. And so the fact that it's even still alive at all is wonderful. At one point I cut it back a whole bunch, but anyway, it's still there, it's going strong, and I'm looking forward to the summer when it's gonna like grow again, because it's really not doing much because it's winter, but that's understandable. So, and then my Tritoscanthia, which is actually quite impressive now. For the longest time was basically, I had like one trail of it. And then it would die because I would forget to water it, and I'd take off the end that was still alive because it shrivels from the roots up. And I would root it in water, and then I would do that over and over again. It was just after I started getting into houseplants that I decided I wanted a full hanging basket. And I've created this, but this came off of the original plant. I have never gotten another wandering dude. Just this came off of the plant that my mom originally gave me. And I mean, it's doing great. I'm starting to learn its little habits, you know, like when it starts wanting water, when it gets dried out and all that kind of stuff. And now I'm waiting for it to trail. It's starting a little bit to trail, so that's cool. And I mean, these things grow so fast, I figure it won't be very long. So, here we go. Number 3. What was the first plant to really kickstart your collection? Well, I guess I kind of already answered that in that it was the aloe vera, where once I was able to keep that alive, then I was kind of interested in other house plants. I already answered that one in that it was the aloe vera. I've gotten a lot of plants since then, but that was definitely the start of like, I'm going to take care of plants now. And then I started getting into all the different types. So, short answer. Number 4, what plants do you struggle to keep alive? Struggling to keep alive. I'm not sure I have any that I'm struggling to keep alive. There are definitely ones that I'm struggling to help thrive. The plant that I'm having the most trouble trying to help thrive is going to be this gold tooth aloe. I got this guy with, if you've ever seen at Home Depot or Lowe's, they have those huge containers that are filled with like crocodile aloe or gold tooth aloe or blah, blah, blah. If you've seen them before, I got one of those that was filled with gold tooth aloe. This is the only one I have left. I think the main problem that I've been having, well, the main problem I know that I had was they would get thin. Like right now, this guy is not, like the leaves are not thick. I know he needs water, but I would water them and then they would rot. And I only recently had the light bulb go off in my brain that says, well, if they need water and then they're rotting when you water them, then your soil doesn't have enough drainage in it. I know, right? Like it seems so obvious now, but I really just didn't figure that out for the longest time. So this guy is waiting to be repotted. I haven't gotten to him yet. And he's, I mean, like I said, he's still alive. He would probably die out eventually, but he's been like this since summer. I think if you watched my fall plant tour, I had still 2 of these. I rotted the other one out since I brought them in. They were doing okay over the summer, but then the other thing is that it's also getting super, super leggy because when these are like happy, they're short and compact and the leaves are huge and like that's what I want to get back to. So this guy has just been causing me no end of problems because he's not getting enough light, he's not getting enough water, and all the other ones tried to rot when I tried to water them. So, gold tooth aloe. I'm gonna figure it out, man. Okay. What is the most expensive plant you've ever bought, and is it still alive? The most expensive plant I've bought, I want to say that I haven't spent more than like $25 on any single plant. And those, like, the $25 that I remember that I've spent are on my Norfolk pine, which I'm not going to move because it's huge, and on my bird of paradise, which you guys might have seen in the video. It came with a nice little container pot that has the nursery pot in it. It's very nice. I'm pretty sure those are the most expensive plants I have bought. Even my Regal Shield, which I absolutely adore, was only like 15 bucks. I was really surprised about that. Yep. I'm pretty sure that's it. I spent $25 on the Norfolk pine. I got a really big one, and now we're going to see if I can keep it alive. So I can use it as my Christmas tree next year, and my bird of paradise, which is doing fine. It's not growing really, but it looks fine. So I'm just assuming that it's just not growing much in the winter. So they are both still alive. Oh, I did those out of order. That was number 6. Number 5, what's the biggest mistake you made with a plant? That would definitely go back to my Christmas cactus, if you saw my Christmas cactus video, where I changed the pot. I think that shocked the plant because it was a much thicker pot, and so like the temperature fluctuation within the pot changed, I think. I'm not positive on that. It started dropping leaves, so I watered it and then ended up root rotting the entire thing, and didn't realize it for an unfortunate amount of time, and only just managed to save a couple of leaves and like one stem of the original plant, which was, it would have also, I guess that's also a contender for oldest plant. I'm pretty sure I've had that somewhere around as long as the Ficus elastica and the Wandering Dude. And I don't, it's still alive, but I don't think of it as a plant anymore because it's just not, right now it's upstairs rooting. So it's in the propagation set and not in the plant set. All right, those ones are out of order, that's fine. Number 7, do you have a certain variety or genus you're drawn to? Absolutely. I, from the very beginning, was really taken by Haworthias, and specifically the window pane Haworthias. It was one of the first ones where I saw it online, and I was just like, I really want one of those. And then when I found it, I bought it. And then I ended up with a variegated variety of the first one that I ever got, and now I've added to my collection a lot more. We'll show a couple of those off. It occurred to me after I went to collect them all that I might as well just do a Haworthia, showing off my Haworthia collection video, because I have so many of them now, like, not, yay, it's a yay. But these are the ones that I have that are variegated, and they're still fairly young, and I've been having some trouble with light in that they're stretching, and because they're supposed to be low light, but they just kind of all stretched, and so I'm trying to figure out what light amount they're happy with. But for right now, they kind of look a little stretched. They're supposed to be much more compact, but that, you can look forward to a Haworthia collection video at some point. So I really like those. The other thing that I've become very interested in are the alocasias, and I have 3 of those right now. I have a purple sword, Polly, and a Regal Shield. And not a huge collection, but basically as soon as I saw the Alocasia Friedac, I was like, I need to figure out if I can keep these plants alive. The reason that succulents work so well for me is because I can let them dry out and they won't die if I forget to water them for a while. I'm definitely a chronic underwaterer, and alocasias like to not be dry for a really long period of time, especially when they're growing new leaves. So far I'm doing a fairly good job of keeping them alive. My poor Polly went through a whole bunch of crap when I got it. It's doing a little rough, but it's not dead. So far all 3 of those are still alive. So at some point, I'm going to get that Alocasia Friedac. Do you also garden outdoors? If so, edibles like herbs, fruits, or veg, or flowers? I do in fact garden outdoors, not very much. I don't have a lot of land. I basically have a postage stamp on which my house sits. And I have tried container gardening for a couple of years, and I've gotten a little bit better at it. And, you know, now that I'm really into plants, I'm planning on an actual, like, whole thing. Like, I've warned my husband that I'm basically going to be lining the driveway with pots this year that I'm going to use to grow plants. And I also had what I thought was a very nice garden in the back of my house on like the tiny bit of space that I had between the house and the driveway. And we got our basement refinished. We also found out when we were getting it refinished that we had problems with water sitting against the foundation, and they had to dig up basically the entire back of our house. I'll show you pictures because it's really cool. And they put in gravel, and what the end result ended up being was there had to be a French drain to catch the water that came down off of our hill. And apparently the code had changed with the HVAC systems, and they now needed to be further apart and further away from the house. So I basically lost a lot of my gardening space out there. And on top of all of that, they filled it all in with gravel because gravel doesn't settle. We were having settling problems too. They filled it all in with gravel and then put maybe 6 to 8 inches of dirt on top of that, which is not a lot of dirt. So I'm going to try raised beds this year in the little bit of space that I have left, and we're going to see how that goes. Luckily, I have all my plants inside, so I figure if I don't really have a lot of gardening I could do outside, I will at least still have my houseplants in here. If you guys are interested in seeing that, I'm more than happy to, do a couple of videos on that. It obviously won't be very much, but you can kind of see how I struggle to container garden and all that kind of stuff. So maybe it'll be helpful for you. So yes, the answer is yes. I do garden outside. I do veggies and fruits. Number 9, what is the coolest plant in your current collection? The coolest plant. I don't think I have any of the really trendy plants that are online that people are so super keen on. For the most part, I kind of try. Well, number 1, I wasn't going to spend a whole bunch on plants, and usually the cool trendy plants are more expensive. And I also haven't really super been interested in a lot of them. Some of them are pretty, but for the price tag and the hassle of getting them and all that kind of stuff, I wasn't really interested. If we want to go for what are the plants that I like the most out of my collection, then that answer is easy. It's number 1, my Regal Shield Alocasia, which is too big for me to move. I will insert some video clip. Hopper, what are you doing? Hi. Yeah? Hello. You being a good girl? My cat has come to visit me, so she gets to be on camera. Hello, Copper. I don't usually let them down here, but I left the door open today because I left the door open today, and so Copper has come to join me. So my Regal Shield Alocasia, really, you're just going to stand there with your tail in the way? I do not appreciate that. My Regal Shield Alocasia, which is doing very well, and sorry if the table shakes, she's walking around on it. And my Begonia Breakdance, which I just absolutely adore, and I have recently attempted to do some propagations of, and I think 2 of them are already dead. So we'll see. If those fail, I've got plenty of leaves to try with, so I really would like to get some more of those because I think that would be really, really cool. But those are definitely the plants that are giving me the most joy, that I'm just enjoying growing the most. My Alocasia Regal Shield put out a new leaf and has another one already coming. And the Begonia Breakdance is I just love how it looks. Hold on, I'm going to show it off again. Yep, so here's my Begonia Breakdance, and there's my cat who is also trying to get into frame again. And this was the newest leaf that was growing in when I first got it, and it's now getting fairly big. And yes, Copper. Oh yes, you're so sweet. And I love the look of this plant. It's just so cool. And it's been very easy for me to take care of. You are doing it again. Get over there. It is, luckily they don't really eat my plants, they just like to cuddle them. I just love how this plant looks, so we're just gonna go with that for now. We're gonna get the cat out of the way, yeah. Okay. Stay. She's not staying. Number 10, what is the number one plant you want in your collection but haven't acquired yet? Technically, kitty butt, the number one plant that I would really, really love to have is the Alocasia Silver Dragon. But I know that I am not prepared to care for that the way that it needs to be cared for in order to be happy. And it's also really expensive. So I figure, because I also think that one's kind of on trend. I found out about it from Kaylee Ellen's video on like rare alocasias, and I think a lot of people possibly found out about it at that same time because I've been seeing it pop up on wish lists like a whole lot. And so I think I'm going to wait for that because if it's really popular, lots of people will have it and hopefully then there'll be more produced and the price will come down. That's what I'm hoping. So really the next plant that's on my like, I'm going to get it this year, like come hell or high water is the Alocasia Frydac. I think I can care for that plant the way that it needs to be cared for. And it's basically the reason I got into alocasias in the first place. It's just such a cool looking plant. And I really, and it's not that expensive. I mean, you know, it might end up being the most expensive plant that I bought because I have to ship it and all that kind of stuff. But for the most part, it's basically super cheap. So that is my answer to number 10. And oh my goodness, she has rolled. Look at you, just so cute. Oh, I know we have had such a kitty break today. All right, sorry. Pretty sure that now I'm technically supposed to tag somebody else to do this houseplant tag. I don't actually have any other friends on YouTube that I could say, you know, here's a tag, I tagged you, you know, you're it, go do this video. Which kind of sounds sad, but I mean, that's just where I am. I'm still new, I'm still growing. I haven't gotten a lot of friends really yet. I'm working on it. And, but, so if anybody out there is watching this and you have a YouTube channel and you would like to do this houseplant tag, you can totally say that I tagged you. I will back you up. So, and if you don't have a YouTube channel and you've always wanted to try a YouTube channel, you know, let this be your first video. Just, you know, put a plant in it somewhere and then you're a plant YouTuber. It's great. So, all right. I hope you guys liked this video. I thought it was kind of fun. I like answering questions like this. It's actually pretty cool. It's probably the storyteller in me. I like, you know, talking about stuff. Anyway, if you like this video, go ahead and like this video. If you'd like to hang around a little bit more, go ahead and subscribe. And thank you so much for choosing to spend some of your time with me today. I will see you guys later. Bye-bye.